Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. and Lady, welcome to Kinetic Aesthetic. I am your boy Germ, and I'm joined by my wonderful, amazing, the great, the one and only, Mr. Dre Olives.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
How are you enjoying the new place, my friend?
I love it so far.
Everybody, Andre has gotten a new home. He has finally leveled up to that castle in British Columbia.
Yep.
He's got the moat and everything. I can't wait to go visit him, man. There's a fucking moat.
We're literally taking breaks to Toronto, if you know what I'm saying.
Taking breaks from Toronto. Tell me, should a real nigga feel this way? All right, but for real, this is Kinetic Aesthetic time, and Andre, we definitely have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of fucking shit going on in the world. It's overwhelming. It's a little bit. It's just so much to talk about. I'm gonna start off by just going full gung ho into this. There was an incident about a week ago involving a whole bunch of Chicago teenagers who just went downtown and they just went wild. They destroyed shit, tore up shit. Apparently people got shot. It was just crazy. And, I wanted to talk about that incident itself at first. I wanted to focus on that, but personally, it just made me start thinking about why does it feel like these younger generations have much less. They don't take life. They take life for granted a little bit more. It's like they don't understand that shit is not a game. Like, it feels like they really feel like they're playing Call of Duty to me. Now, Andre, you said you disagree.
I disagree. I disagree. I agree to an extent, right? Where younger kids do stupid shit, and it seems like, I think with the events that happened a couple weeks ago in Chicago, more uniformed, right? Like it was a bigger group. But I think I won't go too in depth about what that is, but I think that was a mixture of things, right? I think Chicago has a historic past of fucking over, like, in the last 50 years, the South Side, more predominantly black neighborhoods, getting rid of opportunities that are there, like, even before they were crime riddled, literally forcibly turning them into food deserts and, closing down schools there. And then as performance drops more and more because those things are being taken away or just not there anymore, then, eventually it does filter out, and then you have what happened a couple weeks ago, right, where it's a bunch of young kids going around and fucking things up. But I don't think that's a generational thing. Like, it's these younger kids and they're so bad and all this stuff. I think social media is something that we grew up with, but we didn't really know how powerful it was, right? Like our generation, like older millennials, younger millennials, like we had social media when we were growing up, but it wasn't necessarily a tool for certain aspects. It was like more of an extension of like chat rooms and blogs and like threads that you would find online, more so than now. It's kind of how people socialize. So I'll say, that stupid shit that happened a couple weeks ago, I think that was a mixture of kids who come from broken homes, right? And some of those probably came from the suburbs too, knowing suburban kids.
That is
right?
true, and I do want to.
No motherfuckers from the suburbs.
That's
they
true.
They like to jump on those bandwagons, but also there's like a weird psychological effect, and I don't really know the name of it. But when people are in a group and some people start fucking around, it's like a mob mentality. So that's what I'm thinking happened there. But also, it was one of the warmest days in the spring. Young people specifically, always act a damn fool when it's hot.
I think that I've always heard, just maybe amongst black people, motherfuckers don't know how to act when the weather break. Motherfuckers just forget. They don't know how to act. They forget that they was just in the house. They forget that it was cold. They forget all the bullshit that happened last year when it was hot, and they just start doing all the same crazy shit. And it feels like that's really what that was. Like, I don't want to make it seem. That's why I'm not going to focus on that incident in particular.
Yeah.
I really don't think that there's this fucking hard on that certain demographics get for just shitting on Chicago and pointing out anything bad that happened to them and making it seem like this is a third world country, well, a war zone. a live American war zone where just wild shit happens on the daily. It ain't that. I'm telling you, somebody that's not even. It ain't that. I'm not even going to justify and entertain that. That's a whole video of in itself, of that fascination with the city.
Yeah.
But I really do feel like these, and I do bring it up more so just, maybe I'm thinking more so about the people that's like doing all the shootings, how they're getting younger and younger, it feels like, and it's just, and maybe it was always like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's just the social media and it all being in your face, and you can't even like.
Yeah, I'll say it's always been like that. I'll say the social media, it's in more. Your point of it being more in your face, I think that's completely true. But I think another aspect of that is like these things are able to happen more. They're able to like be more coherent, right? Like people are able to set a date, and remember, like after it happened, they're like, we're back there next. Nothing happened the next week, but they're like, we're back at this place next week. Be there, whatever. I almost said be square, but these kids are not saying that. But I think there's more of like you could unify more on social media. That's a part of it, right? You could organize these types of things, and some pieces of shit are gonna do that, But I just struggle to believe that this generation is more violent. I think when I see the news, I see that, but when I see people I know and like family members and their like group of friends and stuff like that, I don't know. They seem to be more under control than people I grew up with. I grew up with some people with pretty decent backgrounds, pretty decent home situations, and they're still doing stupid shit like going around robbing and stuff like that. Like, I think young people are kind of self-destructive because they think they're invincible, but then that quickly changes when someone gets hurt or like life-changing or passes away. Then you're like, oh, okay, But I think we're very online people. Either if we want to admit it or not, we are very online. I know it because we're in a group chat that's all online, and we share things that are all online. And sometimes we talk about things, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're a little bit too online. That it seems that way, but I don't believe it's that way until like, I don't know, I'd have to see this generation get older.
What about all the and see, I say this just based off, there was another thing that I was going to bring up later, but this is a well way to rope in the recent just string of mass shootings.
Those are people like our age doing it too,
and that's part of what I'm saying. Doesn't that?
And then there's older people that are doing it at their workplaces now. I think that's an American thing. That's I'll say young kids are probably, I don't know, maybe it's more
American.
Of an option.
I do mean American. I do focus on American.
But we're talking about the younger generation.
Yeah.
I don't know. The younger generation has been like way more proactive on like trying to get gun bills passed. It's like the older generation that's letting this. I don't think that's a young generation thing. I think it's a symptom of something that the older people let's keep in place for too long, that it's now spilling over.
Because I mean, I think about the guy who just shot up that bank. That was in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
That man literally decided that he was going, well, and I'm not going to say literally just decided like that. I fully understand there was probably a lot more that went into this. This man probably was having a lot of mental struggles for a minute. If I remember correctly, he had even been, his family had known he had mental health struggles, but they just, they probably don't want to, they never wanted to see that was possible.
Yeah, I think, we all kind of either have relatives or ourselves or know people that have mental health issues that we're like not going to expect them to go do that,
But what threw this man over the edge was when he found out that he was getting fired from that job. That's the type of shit that I hear about. It's just like, God damn, it was that's all it took?
That's all it took. Motherfuckers who are fucked up like that are going to find any reason to do it. And then the more they see it on the news, the more other people will be like, yeah, fuck it, why don't I just do it? I don't think that's a younger people thing. I think that's a symptom of like older people. I feel like a lot of these situations that are happening with the younger generation, yeah, there is some autonomy to them, right? They're still like, if you're 16, 17, you've grown up enough to know when to not do something fucked up. And yeah, it might be fucked up that you come from a background where you just really didn't see that example, you didn't really see a way out, and that's how you want to act out. But you're still kind of old enough to know not to go and fuck up, like break windows and shit like that, right? Or, go out and mass shoot or anything. But I still think a lot of these situations are like sins of the father. And I think what we should try to stay away from, especially as we're becoming part of that older generation, is that try not to blame it on like the new people, because it's probably something either the generation before us or even us are like doing to society.
You're right. I definitely don't want to just feel like I'm blaming it on the new generation. Because as much as I say, like, why are they like this? A big part of it, I do feel like, it's like you said, it's sins of the father. These people were like, it's going to be so interesting seeing these generations play out, because there's so many different things that just sort of, like we were having a conversation a couple of days ago, crack babies, how there's still a whole generation of
crack babies. Lead poison babies too, from the same era.
Exactly.
Because people remember in the 80s there was a big crime wave. Huge crime wave going on. And I was reading some articles about it, and like they're linking there might be a link, it's like not official, right? But there might be a link to fucking lead poisoning and that generation acting out, because that was back when everything was like leaded, made out of lead. And they did some studies where like that generation has like a way larger percentage of lead in their blood than the younger people.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and if you look at the symptoms of lead poisoning, it's like, it slowly kind of fucks up your brain chemistry a bit.
Well, that's a new thing that y'all learned today.
Sins of the father, right? Because that's fucking some old motherfucker who was like, lead's cheaper. Let's put that in all the houses.
That's fucking crazy. And
yeah, before I'm gonna let you continue. I'm sorry, but before, I want to clarify what I mean by sins of the father. I don't necessarily mean like your household either. Like of course, parents are major parts of like upbringing, but I think there's a lot of issues in society that come from like public policy that's conducted by like the older generation, and then the older generation comes in, and then they're like, oh, these fucking people, they just want to bitch, and they get rid of that too. That's more of my sins of the father. I think even like fucked up family situations, sometimes that might naturally just be happening, right? Like, I mean, you see those rich families where everything just falls apart for them because the family's fucked up,
right?
Like the money didn't save them. But you also, I think if you're in like a more if you're in a more sensitive financial situation, those issues are much more apparent. And then especially if you're in an area where it's not really the best and there's not really much opportunities, that rolls out. So that's more of my sins of the father, because I feel like that also plays in a part of like bad parents too, right? Because like they're kind of a product of like what society dealt them. And and I want to be clear, because I feel like the conservative backing to this is like, well, they're their own people, they should know nothing. Like, that's completely true to an extent, right?
That is.
But you can't just ignore societal pressures that cause people to do fucked up things. Like, you can't just be like, no, it's just all their choice. Like, the choice plays a part in it, but also it's your environment.
A popular conservative talking point is always that I always try to say, when you put people in poverty, crime is going to happen.
Yeah.
Crime is going to happen. You put people in that situation where they're fighting and they're struggling, they're scrapping for that just last piece of food on their plate. They're gonna do what they're going to do what it takes. They're gonna get it how they have to. That's just point blank. If I had been raised not in Bolingbrook, Illinois, but in the fucking city of Chicago, in a certain section of the city, ain't no telling. There's no telling, and there's no amount of parenting that can like just shield your child from that somehow. Mm-hmm. So it's too easy. It's too easy to try to.
Yeah, it's too easy to just blame it on the person, and then like, yeah, the person has blame, of course, but like,
conservative.
Don't ignore that you closed down like Rahm Emanuel. We can't ignore that Rahm Emanuel did not go in and close down 60 schools in the South Side. All right, we can't just pretend like that didn't happen.
I didn't even know.
There was a shit ton of schools. I might be over exaggerating, but it was a shit ton of schools. He fucked up with. So we can't just be like, oh, well, those schools were underperforming, so we got rid of them. And it's like, oh, but they're still underperforming. But there's a teacher shortage. But there's not enough room in the classes, so it's 60 kids to one teacher. Well, what are you gonna do? Maybe they should just behave better. Like, doesn't that sound stupid? Doesn't that just sound really fucking stupid?
And it just goes back to my point of, number one, all politicians are the same, but number two, I just feel like a lot of conservative ways of thinking.
I don't believe in all politicians are the same.
they're not all exactly the same. Some of them are pieces of shit. Some of them are giant turds. But I definitely just feel like.
Did you see the South Park reference?
Yeah, I did.
I hate South Park for even bringing that up, because then that's all like everybody in our age who's like politically like agnostic is like, well, I don't want to choose between a douche and a turd sandwich. It's
Again,
like, oh,
I'm not. We've had this
so
discussion.
fuck. I know. I get triggered by that.
Okay.
I get triggered by that specific metaphor.
He don't like it. He does not like that fucking reference at all. But
sorry.
What I was gonna say was, I just feel like with a lot of conservative thinking points, these people like to rely on this very simple thinking.
Yeah, very very linear paths for them.
They don't like to think about the fact that somebody might have to just deal with outside factors. They do not like to take those into account.
Gun not bad, people bad.
There we go.
That's like their main. It's like, bro, what? But it's so easy to get a gun. Like even in Illinois, it's like they have like some of the most restrictions on getting a gun. Still super easy to get a gun.
Like Tennessee with the shooting, that person had literal documented health struggles. They should have been in no way, shape, or fashion been able to get a gun. Yet they were able to get a gun. Not just any type of gun. They were able to get a fucking AR. And you see what happens. But they want to focus more on the person than they actually want to focus on the process of how easy it was for them to obtain this weaponry, despite the fact that they have documented mental health struggles.
Crazy.
Like, it's literal insanity to me. Literal insanity. That's the point where I'm at. That's why I say some of the shit that I've been saying, because it's just like certain things just they're not clicking. The left not being
they don't want it to click.
Right.
They don't want it to click. That's the thing.
Maybe
that's just what it is.
You are right. They don't want it to click.
They don't want it to click. They know it doesn't make sense.
They know none of that shit makes sense. They know that it's just crazy because it feels like there's a lot of young people that are losing themselves because they're getting caught up in this shit.
Yeah.
In this fucking it feels like it's nothing more than a game to certain people in certain positions.
I feel bad for them. I feel bad because I feel like this younger generation is really like mass shootings and that shit was always like a concern for us, right? Because we kind of grew up when it was like becoming more prevalent,
right?
But I feel like these kids are more like just expecting it now rather than like I hope it doesn't happen. They're more like, well, shit, I feel bad for them. I
can't imagine being in school just sort of like, okay, it hasn't happened yet. There hasn't been one in my town. I wonder when it's gonna happen.
I get like this fucked up. I get like paranoid when I see someone that looks like off a little bit sit near me in like a public place. I'm like, oh man, if he airs this bitch out, I'm gone.
I feel.
I'm like, why am I thinking that? Like, I like stop. I'm like, that's fucked up. That's like a concern I have now.
But it's fucked up. But I feel the same way. It's like I've heard motherfuckers at work. There was one dude who worked at my job. He was actually very nice once you talked to him, but he just had that look. Walked around in combat boots, lunch pail, and everything.
Combat boots. Combat boots.
Yeah. Just certain things. Yeah, combat boots are a no-go, y'all. Let's give.
I wear combat boots.
Like, sir, you gotta rock them a certain way. If you not,
I wear like Doc Marten.
Give off very bad vibes.
Yeah.
But motherfuckers used to always be like, bro, like I thought he was gonna air this bitch out.
That's so fucked up.
But like it was just one of those things where like it's damn like people think about that shit now.
People see you and you look a little off. They're like, this motherfucker's gonna air this shit out.
Right, motherfuckers don't want to be around that guy. And I'll be honest with you, and this is just a personal thing. I am a little bit more like if the movie theater is too crowded, I get a little.
Movie theaters, I do look at like exits and think of a plan. Like I watch a streamer and he also said that he was like when I'm at movies, I like look at the exits so I know how like my pathway there. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one, and I'm like, wait.
Everybody thinking that shit now because you can't take chances anymore.
No,
we're in a world now where you can get an AR so simple. is so simple. Even in states where it's not supposed to be that easy to get a gun.
Yeah. Like, I can't, when people complain about it and they're like, I can never take it seriously. Because I'm like, bro, who gives a fuck about your guns?
You're going to be fine.
You're going to be fine. If you have a handgun and a shotgun, that's all you really need. Yeah, they're cool and they're fun. I get that part, but I'm not going to be like, man, you really should have your gun.
Me neither. And yeah, I think that's all I really got to say about that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, when it comes to guns, y'all, let's all just remember, it is a lot easier to make it harder to make guns less readily available than it is to magically go inside all of these bad or evil people's brains and fucking fix them.
It's easier to vote for common sense gun laws and these background checks than it is to bury your child.